Well, have you ever had a trip that you've always dreamed about taking? One Idaho woman decided to stop waiting and take the trip that she'd been dreaming about at 86 years old. Her name is Joan, and she made her way to Egypt. Now she's here with us in studio to share her adventure and why she hopes that it inspires others to stop just waiting for the right time and go on your trip already, okay? So we got Joan here in studio. Joan, it's been delightful just chatting with you behind the scenes as well, but I have to know, what made you just decide now's the time, you took the leap and you booked the trip to Egypt?
Several things.
Okay, what are they?
I saw Egypt on one day as part of a cruise.
Oh.
In 1919, no.
In 2000
Well,
something?
about 6 years ago.
Oh, okay, got it.
And it was 3 months before my husband died, and we went on this cruise of a lifetime. And in that cruise, stopped one day in Egypt. And on that one day in Egypt, we hopped on a bus, went 2 hours through the desert.
Oh, wow.
Went to Luxor, went to a museum, went to the Karnak Temple, went to the Luxor Temple, had lunch by the Nile.
Wow.
And hopped back on a bus and went 2 hours through the desert, back to the ship.
Okay.
With all of these time things, when you're on a ship, you've got to be there on time.
Yes, you do, yes.
So we had very little time to see a lot of things.
Yes.
And sort of have a snapshot of the little part of Egypt.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, this is really interesting, and someday we'll go back.
Yeah.
Well, 3 months later, my husband passed away.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And I was not going to go anywhere. I was 80 years old and thought, nope, that's it for traveling. And ended up, for a lot of reasons, ending up moving to Revel, a senior place, which had a travel group. And over the next, at the time I moved, I had severe bursitis and couldn't walk very well.
Yeah.
So I wasn't going to travel.
It was limited, yeah, it was limited. But then you got with this travel group?
I got with the travel group, and I went on some short trips. And I thought, well, I can do this. And I took PT, and I took...
So you prepared?
I took classes. I prepared, and it's something I would probably tell, I know I would tell anyone at my age doing this. Prepare, get your body in
Get
shape.
ready for the trip.
And so I decided eventually, was talking with a friend, and we were, this is a few years later, but I'd been...
Yeah, you've been preparing, but doing the PT, you've been strengthening, you've been wrapping your mind around, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go back to Egypt.
And we were preparing to go to Antarctica.
Oh, you were going to Antarctica first. Okay, you were going to go to Antarctica with this group. You've been doing your PT, you're getting over your bursitis, but then all of a sudden Egypt popped up in the middle.
We saw a friend of ours who has a fiber operating store in Oregon.
Okay.
Does these trips with about 14 people.
Okay.
And does it annually. And I saw a notice on there, and we said, aha, let's do that. She's been wanting to go to Egypt as well.
Yes.
And I had been wanting to go back and see more, because see a little bit, that's intriguing.
Yes.
And so you go back, and it was 2 weeks.
Wow.
In Cairo and down the Nile and back, and in a boat and all this.
That is
things.
marvelous.
And we said, let's do it. So it was a 3-month notice, but we said, well, we did it.
3-month notice, but you had been preparing to travel, though, for quite a while before investing and making sure that you were ready for the trip.
Right.
And I want to say, what is so, I mean, there's so many things about your story, Joan, that is so inspiring, let alone, you know, the more mature time in your life going, you know what, I can still do this. I'm still going to travel. There's still a world to be seen. I have plenty to experience. And taking the investment to prepare yourself for that, despite some physical challenges, because some people might be like, you know what, it's not in the cards for me, but that's not true. So what would you say to somebody watching right now who thinks that there might be some roadblocks they can't overcome and they can't go adventure anymore?
Say, think about it, give it a try. Say, why can't you go?
Yeah.
And there are ways to go. You can travel, and maybe I can explain. You go by airplane and you make sure that you get wheelchair service.
Yes.
Whether you're needing a wheelchair or crutches or anything like that, get wheelchair service.
Okay.
At this age, you're not going to run a
You
run.
deserve to have someone push you around an airport, in my opinion.
You deserve it, absolutely. And just make sure you get all of the amenities. And maybe it's not that expensive to bump up to business class if you're going on. If you're investing in a big trip,
if you're going to do this, it's worth it.
Yeah, it's worth it.
Yes.
And
Get the
do these things in comfort.
Yes.
And manage, sort of prepare yourself to maybe not ever make every connection. It just doesn't always happen.
And that's okay.
And just have your extra little bag, your little carry-on bag to take care of you. And so you have to think about all of these things that can happen as you go along.
Yes.
Because when I went to Egypt, we barely made our connection.
It was tight.
In Atlanta. And having that wheelchair and having alerted the staff.
Being prepared and having thought ahead.
They zipped us over.
You zipped on and you made it.
And we made it. But there were and sometimes you have long connections. And so just be prepared.
Plan
and think
ahead.
of it as part of the whole trip.
Yes.
It's part of the adventure.
It is part of the adventure, Joan. And I think that's something we can all take whenever we travel, no matter where we go. Be patient, plan ahead. It's a part of the adventure. Be present and enjoy it. Joan, thank you so much. We greatly appreciate you coming on and sharing your journey. And it's obvious that your adventure is a great reminder that there's no better time than the present to just stop not pursuing your dreams. Go do it now. All right, it's time for Pet Picks. First up, we have Petey and Sprite sent in from Brian. Petey is one of the family dogs, and Sprite is a brand new 3-month-old kitten. They became best friends right away, and Sprite already thinks he's one of the dogs. That's so cute. Next up, we have Wyatt and Bailey, sent in by Mary Elizabeth. They always know when it's time to eat. Bailey loves stealing Wyatt's toys and piling them up, and they even make each other into pillows. Then we have Bruce from Gabrielle. They're a smart pup, and they know how to open doors. An incredibly smart pup. Then we have Tuna and Hocus Pocus. And we also have, where's Bruce and Gabrielle? I'm gonna go back here. Where's Bruce and Gabrielle? There we are, there's Bruce. And then next, here we go. Now we have Tuna. This is Tuna and Hocus Pocus, sent in from Anne. Tuna always tries to log along when Ani leaves the house. And then we also have our pet of the week, which is Hocus Pocus. It's a pouty pup. Doesn't look too happy. That's because he has to share some mac and cheese, but that's okay. All right, so if you have any pet picks, please send them to us at petpicks@ktvb.com. Send in their name, a fun fact about them, and we'll put them right here on the show and share them with everyone in our audience. All right, stick around. We have more to come here on idaho-today right after this.